Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Thanks for checking out the video. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It is the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some exciting movie news and television news. The big news: Robert Pattinson as Batman. At least that's what a lot of reports are saying. Nothing super official or confirmed. Apparently he's in final talks. Apparently this is going to happen. Robert Pattinson, mostly known from the Twilight films and Harry Potter as his role as Cedric Diggory, is going to be the new Batman in Matt Reeves' The Batman film. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of divisiveness out there. My thoughts: I hear that Pattinson is a splendid actor. I hear that recent films of his have been fantastic, and he's done a very good job. I've only seen the first couple of Twilight films. I've seen him in that Harry Potter film. That's all I got. I don't have enough to really go by, right? Is he big enough? Not yet, but most actors aren't big enough when they first get it. I guarantee you that dude's in the gym, like, right now, if this is true, okay? So I think physically he's going to be able to handle it. Acting-wise, I hear he's really good. So I'm cool with this. I'm down with it. I like the idea of a younger Batman. He would be the youngest Batman cast, I believe, ever in the role. I'm cool with it. What do you think? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, Vagrant Queen, the comic book from Vault Comics, has been ordered as a television series for Sci-Fi Channel. That's right, Sci-Fi is going to be airing 10 episodes of Vagrant Queen, which was a comic book created by Mags Visaggio and Jason Smith. I really like the book. It's a nice, fun, snarky sci-fi type thing. So it's going to be really, really cool to expand that out into a 10-episode series. I'm really, really stoked. Really, really pumped for the creators. Really pumped for Vault Comics. They had a lot of announcements this week. We'll get to some more later on. The Batwoman trailer debuted. Batwoman's got a new show on CW. So the trailer debuted. It stars, what, Ruby Rose? Is that her name, right? I watched the trailer. It looks decent, I guess, but it's still the CW. So I quit the CW shows cold turkey a few years ago. Never felt better. So I might check out the pilot. I don't know. It's just, even just judging by the trailer, and at the end, the costume, it looks cool, right? You know, they made some changes from the comic book. You know, that doesn't usually bother me. But it just feels like it's going to be a CW show. And I think that's exactly what they should be doing, I guess, because it's popular. But I'm just not liking it. So I guess it looks cool, but I don't have too high of hopes because I'm not quite sold on the CW Arrowverse, as they call it. Speaking of the Arrowverse and CW, CW Seed's going to be airing a Deathstroke animated series. I'm not sure 100%, but it seems like this is going to be tied in somehow to the Arrowverse. It makes sense. The previous CW Seed animated series were, I believe. So I don't know. No word on if what's his name, Mal Bennett, is that his name? I don't know if he's going to come back and voice it. We don't really know anything aside from the fact that CW Seed's doing a Deathstroke animated series, which could be really, really cool. But if it's super tied into all that CW Arrowverse stuff, maybe it won't be. But I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of animation, Rick and Morty Season 4, the long-awaited Season 4, it's been announced that it's going to debut in November. So I'm very excited for this. To me, Rick and Morty is one of the best science fiction shows on television, hands down right now. And I'm super pumped. I've been waiting, and I just cannot wait even. I guess we just got to wait a little bit longer, right? So I'm really, really pumped for that. The return of Rick and Morty. Mortal Kombat. They announced they're going to be doing a new Mortal Kombat movie set to come out in 2021. Right now, the same release date as Masters of the Universe. What's really exciting about it, though, is that James Wan has come in as a producer. So James Wan's going to be producing a Mortal Kombat reboot film, basically, in a way. Really excited. Mortal Kombat really just kind of lends itself to a really good story. It's kind of Bloodsporty, right? And I like the original Mortal Kombat movie for sure. We're about to be doing an audience choice movie review for that one. Everybody picked Mortal Kombat. We'll be releasing that one in the next few weeks. So it's going to be fun to revisit that film, but it's going to be really cool to see what they could do with the Mortal Kombat film today. As long as they amp up that action, don't make it too cheesy, take itself just a little bit seriously, and just go with it. I think it could be really, really cool. Speaking of James Wan, he's directing the pilot for The Magic Order. The Magic Order is that comic book by Mark Millar. One of the comic books that he created specifically in order to make it into a Netflix show. He's got a whole bunch of stuff coming from that company soon. But tapping James Wan to do your pilot, it's a pretty big deal. So I think that could be pretty neat. I wasn't the biggest fan of that comic book. I'm not really the biggest fan of a lot of current Mark Miller stuff, but every once in a while he does surprise me. So let's check it out. Star Trek, that Picard show, it has an official title now, Star Trek Picard. Why were they holding on to that so much? But aptly named. I think that's the perfect title. Everybody's coming to this show for Picard, for Patrick Stewart, and reprising his role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard. I'm super pumped for this. I'm a big Trek guy. I love Picard, love Patrick Stewart. I just cannot wait for this show. Very, very excited. Some comic book news. I told you that Vault had a really big week. One of the other announcements is that Michael Morisi, the writer of Wasted Space, has signed on for a multi-project, multimedia deal with Vault Comics. He's already been working on a video game and some video game spin-offs with Tim Seeley and Elliot Rahal. He's also going to be extending out Wasted Space for 5 more issues, so it's moved from 20 issues to 25. I'm excited about that. Why not 125? I'd read every single one of them. Wasted Space is one of my favorite books right now, and it's also going to be getting an audio drama. They're working with graphic audio. That's really, really cool, really nifty, and I think that's a great idea. Can't wait to check that out. He's also with co-writer Gary Dauberman, who is a horror screenwriter in Hollywood. He's going to be doing a new comic book for Vault called The Maw, a horror comic. So that's really, really exciting. Anytime new news is announced from Michael Morisi or Vault Comics, I get excited, especially when it involves Wasted Space. I love every single one of these. Vault Comics had a huge week, and they couldn't deserve it anymore. Absolutely. Or they couldn't deserve it. Wait, they couldn't. Yeah, they deserve it and more. That's what I should say. Year of the Villain from DC. It's announced that in August is when all those one-shots and all the tie-ins are starting to come in. Scott Snyder said all you really have to focus in on is Doom War if you want to, but all the little one-shots and things like that, they help flesh out the story, focusing in on a particular villain who has accepted an offer from Lex Luthor to upgrade their power. So really, really excited for this. Scott Snyder and company have been doing a great job on the Justice League books. So Year of the Villain, I'm kind of pumped for. Jonathan Hickman's revealed a little bit more of his plans for the X-Men. So House of X, Powers of 10, those are going to be 6-issue series, kind of feed off one another, alternating. When those books come out, all the other X-Men books are going to be done. So Age of X-Men will have wrapped up, Uncanny X-Men is going to wrap up, and it's going to be done. Then after House of X and Powers of 10, Hickman's going to relaunch a flagship X title that he is going to be writing for the foreseeable future. There's also ideas for other titles that are going to spin off. No word on creators or what the teams or what the books are going to be, but I'm really, really excited to see that news. Expect that to be announced. San Diego Comic-Con. Future Foundation is getting a new book written by Jeremy Whitley with artwork by Will Robson. We haven't seen the Future Foundation in a while. We saw them a little bit when the Fantastic Four came back, but they got left out there in the multiverse. Apparently they've been looking for Molecule Man. I'm really excited to see the characters come back. Jeremy Whitley's done a great job with books like Unstoppable Wasp and the whole Agent of Girl thing, so I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with the Future Foundation and its diverse cast of characters. Some of the best characters out there, including Bentley. Very excited for that. Speaking of Fantastic Four, there's going to be a new quarterly series focusing on the Fantastic Four called 4 Yancey Street, which of course is the address of their new headquarters. The first issue is going to be Thing-centric, written by Gary Duggan, with artwork by Greg Smallwood. Really excited to see Greg Smallwood's take on Ben Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. Very excited for that. I'm a huge Fantastic Four nut, so that's neat. Do we need more Fantastic Four books? 2 basic kind of spin-off tie-in type things? Sure, why not? You keep making them, I'm going to keep buying them. It's going to be quarterly. Think of it something like Web of Venom or something like that. Or back in the day, the Fantastic Four Unlimited, if you guys remember that one. A new comic book from Dark Horse this summer called Strayed. I'm pointing this one out because it's cats in space, but it's also got artwork by Juan Doe, recently of Dark Arc over at Aftershock. I love his artwork. This one seems really cool with a nice premise. The cover is sharp. It's going to be written by Carlos Gaffani, Juan Doe, and Matt Kreutzer. Round out that creative team. So that's what we got for you this week. What do we got coming up here at PCP? Well, the usual fare, like the weekly comic book review and all that stuff and more. But we do have a new episode of a podcast debuting this Wednesday on our website, popculturephilosophers.com, or if you're subscribed on iTunes, you'll get that directly, all about Steven Spielberg. So we do another director-focused podcast. We had a lot of fun recording it. We're going to be releasing it to the public on Wednesday. And tonight, the return of Robbie Rants Live. We will be doing a live stream tonight, 7 o'clock U.S. Central Time. So be here to talk about this week's upcoming comic books, our pick of the week's last week, or just comic book movie news. We'll talk a little bit about Robert Pattinson, Batman. We'll get the conversation going. We'll keep it going and have a nice, fun, positive time talking about pop culture and what we love about it tonight, 7 o'clock U.S. Central Time for Robbie Rants Live. Thank you so much for checking out this video, the weekly pop culture wrap-up. Of course, we'll return next week as well. Thank you guys so much for your support of this channel. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading, keep on living, keep on loving, keep on keeping on.